Hello friends, welcome to Sailor Happy Home. I'm happy to be here with you today on this Sunday, July 5th, 2026. Went on a road trip yesterday with Douglas. We had a lovely time. Went to Lanesboro, a historic and tiny community in Minnesota here. And I got sunburned, so I can't even put makeup on this morning. Ugh, no contacts, no makeup, nothing. It's been terrible. But that's not what I want to talk to you about. In a previous video, we talked about the all of the chemicals and things like powdered cellulose that are showing up in our foods. And one of the things that we talked about was the waxes that are used, specifically paraffin wax, that is used to preserve the color and freshness of many fruits and vegetables. This is nothing new. It's been around for about 150 to 200 years when canning came into being. Prior to that, tens of thousands of years into our history, people were drying, salting, smoking foods to keep them preserved. The paraffin wax, it's most commonly, you hear that with people that can, back in the way people used to can the old-fashioned way with the pressure cookers and whatnot, making jams and jellies. Anyway, it is still used today. Now, the FDA and the people that want to put wax on your food because they want you to think their food is fresh and beautiful, they're going to tell you that the little bit they put on that apple, it's not going to kill you. You're going to wash it anyway, right? And it's going to take it off, right? Well, there might be a little bit on the apple, but what about the rutabagas? What about the broccoli? What about this? What about that? When you start to consider all of the foods that you eat in a day, you and your family, or in a week, or in a month, that contain powdered cellulose, that have preservatives, dyes, toxins, heavy metals, and wax on the food. When you consider how many things you eat in a day, in a week, in a month, that have this on there, and you may or may not have thoroughly washed it, it may or may not have bits of the wax still on it, over time, that's going to build up in your system. Over time, that's going to start affecting your health. Over time, that's going to start causing cancer cells to develop and wake up in your system. So it's really important that food get washed and processed, even if it says pre-wash. Now, certified organic foods are not going to have this stuff on it. You're still going to want to wash them. But literally, they're coming from the dirt, washed in somebody's sink, packaged, thrown on the shelf. Not so with 99.99% of the produce that we have available to purchase and use in our homes. So one of the things I mentioned was that I use Clean Boss Eat Cleaner. I know this is backwards for you. Clean Boss Eat Cleaner, they do not sponsor me. They do not know that I am giving them a free promo today. This is the bomb. This is the best of the best. This stuff works. We had blueberries that we washed in this stuff. They lasted an unnaturally long time. One might have to posit, what's in this that's making that food last a long time? What it is it is a 100% natural, safe, edible, preservative-free, chemical-free, metal-free cleaner that you use on your foods to keep them fresher longer. Now, I want to do with you today the broccoli test because, as I had mentioned in a previous video, I took the broccoli and I tried it. You know, if you've seen the the Clean Boss Eat Cleaner commercial where they show the broccoli and the water runs around the broccoli and then you spray it with the Eat Cleaner and it goes through the broccoli, I wanted to see if it was going to work again today. So we're going to do this here at my sink. Here's the broccoli. It's still sealed in the container, so I haven't doctored it up. Pull it out of here. And the quality of produce is getting so shoddy, don't you think? I sure do. So we're going to clean this up. And now I'm going to show you. We're going to get this stuff out of the way here so I can get the... Whoa! so I can get my phone nice and close to the sink here. Okay, there's my sink. And this is a head of broccoli I just pulled out of that package. And we're going to, and as you can see, let's get this closer here. As you can see, the water is running off of the broccoli. It's not going in there. Now, we're going to spray it with the Clean Boss Eat Cleaner. Same head of broccoli. And right away you can see that that light palish green color is going away. That color is because of the waxes and coatings that they put on the broccoli. It makes the color dull. We're just spraying a little bit on there. I'm probably spraying way more than I need. Okay. And now, as you can see, I'm not sure if you can, it's actually going in through the broccoli. See how it's going in through the broccoli? Not around it. And now that that coating is off, this has that bluish green to it. This has not been cleaned with the Clean Boss Eat Cleaner yet, and this has. You can even see a difference. And I can show you it's not just about water. You know, oh, well, there's water. Look at the water bead up on this. Look at that. The water is beading up on this. And still, you can see the difference. Bluish green, true green. Now, you can use any type of food, produce cleaner that you want. That's okay. Use whatever you want. I'm not used to showing so much of myself on screen. Yeah, I might as well 48 pounds down. And a lot of that 48 pounds that I've lost so far is because Douglas and I decided to super age. Not just lose weight for better health, but super age and start with that optimal weight. And that's what we've been working on. Douglas has lost 89 pounds in the last 24 months. I've lost 48 since October. And one of the things that we do is we educate ourselves on healthy nutrition, tips and tricks about healthy nutrition. A lot of it has to do with just changing that mindset and changing the diet and removing a lot of things from our home, our kitchen, that really are unnecessary. And do you know that since we started this and we got rid of all of the processed foods, all of the candy and the garbage and the junk food that Douglas, a diabetic, type 2 diabetes, was eating for so many years when he'd have a sugar drop, is completely gone. He doesn't want it. And when we eat something that's got chocolate in it, it's just kind of like, ugh. And last weekend, I made a bunch of giant bakery style chocolate chip, walnut, chocolate chip, and oatmeal raisin cookies to put in the freezer. Because one never knows when one's going to get company. We might actually have humans show up at our door and want to come in and have a cup of coffee. I need something to serve them. And also it's good because, you can heat them up, put a little cinnamon ice cream on top of them and make a little dessert. Heat them up for breakfast. You can have a little warm cookie for breakfast. So, they're good to keep in the freezer. So I made some of those, but I made them from scratch. All of the ingredients were organic ingredients or unbleached flour or unbleached sugar or whatever. I made sure that I used pure natural ingredients. One of the things that I'm doing with my ingredient list is I'm making sure that I use the very best spices and herbs that I can. Natural herbs when possible. I have parsley. I have cilantro in the fridge right now. I do have some cheaper bottled spices, but I'm slowly replacing them when I need them with good stuff like Madagascar bourbon vanilla, the best you can get. Pure, unprocessed, unbleached cane sugar. And not, we got Splenda. And I know Splenda is made from stevia, which is a plant, but it's so hyper processed. It is still a chemically processed food. So you really want to try to avoid that if you can too. I know that for diabetics, everybody's running to do that. But here's the problem with that. Diabetic or not, I believe personally, and I can tell you from Douglas losing 89 pounds to be exact in the last 24 months, and his blood sugar getting so improved that he doesn't need his Victoza anymore and he doesn't need a monitor anymore, okay? And I don't give him Splenda, Equal, Sweet and Low, none of those chemical mixtures. He gets pure, unprocessed, natural, unbleached sugar when I need sugar for things that I'm baking and cooking. It's pure sugar. His body knows what it is, recognizes it, welcomes it in. And even though his pancreas isn't going to process sugar and like it as well as someone who's not diabetic, it's still going to be better for him. So it's really important to keep those things in mind. Don't be afraid of getting away from those artificial sweeteners simply because you have a diabetic in the house and you think that real sugar is the enemy. Real sugar is not the enemy. Their pancreas is their enemy. But back to what we were talking about today. Now that they've dried a little bit, still unwashed, washed. Shocking, isn't it? That's because this has that coating on it. And if you recall, the water was beading off of this. I hope you could see that in the video. And then when it washed this, it started going through the little channels of the stock. So yeah, find yourself a really good quality produce spray. This one is by Clean Boss. It's called Eat Cleaner. It is the only one that I have in the house. It is, and I've used several. I've tried several. Some of them I didn't trust. I got one bottle one time that I got at the store, and when I tried it, I actually could smell chemicals in it. And something, when you change your nutrition, your body changes. And one of the things that changes is, at least for me, I've become hypersensitive to smells. I can smell things like an apex predator, like a mountain lion. I smell things. I could be outside and I could smell things that in the house that I never thought I could smell. Everything has extra notes and scents to it that I never would have guessed were there. And it really makes a difference because that helps your senses to become more satisfied, more satiated with the food that you're eating. When the visual is there, of course, this looking much more appealing. You can imagine that flavor than this. And when you can smell it 10 times more than you could before, because all that garbage from all that processed food and all those chemically based ingredients and cheap spices and cheap sugars and flours that they were piling in your system, once that stuff gets flushed out through weight loss and good diet and exercise, it's not just portions that become something that you see different. It becomes your taste buds, becomes your senses that are all part of sitting down and enjoying a meal. How it looks, how it smells, how it tastes, the textures. Everything is different, and it's different in a better way. So I use this, of course, the Clean Boss Eat Cleaner. You can get 2 of these bottles. I get 2 for like $25. It lasts for friggin' ever. And I'm getting in a naturally long time with our vegetables. And because it's just Douglas and I, something like this could last us 1 or 2 weeks. So we have to keep it well preserved, keep it dry and clean. I go through and I cut up all my vegetables. I know a lot of people don't have time to do that. We do have to understand that I have a full-time job. I have a house full of pets. I have a giant house. I have a husband. I have a lot going on. We have a huge high maintenance property. But, when people say, well, I can't stand there and cut celery and carrots for my kids. I'm just going to get the stuff that's chemically processed because it's convenient. We got to stop using our children and our pets and our full-time jobs as excuses to make shortcuts that are going to ultimately cause you to be sick and to shorten your lifespan and that of your children, because everything you're eating, you're feeding your kids too. You're feeding your husband and your pets as well. So why are you predisposing them to cancers and organ failure and short lifespans just to cut a few corners? If you carve out 45 minutes, 45 minutes one morning to just do a quick scrape of some carrots and parsnips, cut up some cucumbers, maybe some celery sticks, wash them off with your Clean Boss Eat Cleaner there, put them in a container, and same thing, use herbs. It does mean that you're going to take a little extra time. I have to cut up a lot of vegetables for meals that I normally wouldn't cut up, because it's more important to me to take that time to work with the food, to chop it up myself. Give yourself credit for that. And stop using your children and your job as an excuse to use carrots, little carrot nubs that have been soaked in bleach and preservatives, pre-cut things that are going to last maybe 1/10 of the time that the natural stuff is going to cost. Once you buy all the containers up front and you keep them on hand, you just have to cut up a few things here and there, and you're going to be more prompted to want to eat these things instead of just leaving them in the back of the bin in the fridge to spoil, because it's easier to grab the chips or something else out of your fridge. It can be a hassle. It is a bit time consuming. Like I said, for me, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, depending on how much I have. I get it processed, but now it's processed for the week. And Douglas is up here now. He just came in. But it's worth it because, as you can see, this is going to last us at least a week. And we have pets that eat a lot of vegetation too, so we do need to keep up our produce as well. But I'm learning so much on this super aging journey and this weight loss process that I'm in right now, and getting Douglas super healthy. And one of the things I've learned is that you need to take the time to wash your vegetables and find yourself a good cleaner. You might find another cleaner that's more convenient to use, that you like better than Clean Boss Eat Cleaner, but I guarantee you, if you try this, you're going to throw everything else away. The women on TikTok that are telling you about this stuff, they are not exaggerating. This stuff is the bomb. And as you can see, I showed you proof positive, the water beating off of the one that hasn't been cleaned and the water going right through the one that has. Proof is right there. This is important. Take this step for your health and longevity. Take this step to stop spending so much money on food, because the longer your food is safe and fresh and ready to eat, the less you have to go shopping, the less you have to buy when you go shopping, the less money you spend in the grocery store. So give it a try. Again, don't use your kids as an excuse. Don't use this stuff as an excuse. It's easy to say, well, I can't do that. I get fun. And I used to do that too. But through my super aging journey that I've begun, I'm starting to tell myself, no, that's not okay. That's not acceptable to say, I got a full-time job. I have a big house. I have pets. I have this. Yeah, those are not excuses. They are reasons to do better. For your husband, for your children, for your family, for yourself. Take these little steps, do these little things. Take yourself some time, peel up those vegetables. Once you get a system going, it really doesn't take that long at all. And if you use something like Clean Boss Eat Cleaner, that food is going to last so much longer that you're not going to always have to be in the kitchen preparing food. One step improves the next step, which improves the next step, and so on and so forth, until it just snowballs into a really good system. I am proud of my refrigerator right now because of all of the healthy things that are in there. And a lot of it is produce that I have cut and peeled and gotten ready for Douglas and I to eat for the week. So give this a try. I just showed you the experiment. You proof positive that cleaners work. This cleaner works. And now this food has no waxes or preservatives on it or any dyes or anything on there that's going to, over time, be cancer causing, cause your kidneys and liver to shut down. We're going to eat healthy, and it tastes so much better with all that garbage off. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any tips and tricks that you use to get that food cut and peeled and processed and put away for the week. And until next time, eat clean, eat cleaner, do good, and be good.